And I do not want you to underestimate the importance and the value of conversation. Hello, Bethany George, follow-up boss. Have you ever heard of the phrase passive mobility? See, when most of us think about social media, we think about our marketing strategy. We think about the ways that we're sharing content out into the world. And I want to share a different way to look at social media that goes beyond your marketing. And it stems down to one of the most essential pieces to building relationships: building know, like, and trust. A lot of times when we think about social media, we think about being visible. We think about being present in front of people. And that is true. Yes, for sure. But more importantly, it's about creating a deeper know of that person, for that person to know who you are. And I want to say so much more than just who you are as a business. They need to know who you are as an individual. Remember that people buy from other human beings. We buy from people we know, like, and trust. We hear that phrase a freaking 1,000 times, right? We have an emotional connection with that person. You know that person as a human being that you relate to. And the way that we can do that on social media is by being real, being authentic, being vulnerable, and being engaging. And what that looks like is being willing to talk about things more than just your business. Because please stop telling me that you exist only as your business. You do not. You're a human being with likes and dislikes and hobbies and complexities. And that is the kind of stuff that you need to show up with on your social media. That's the kind of thing that helps people relate to you. If you look around on my social media, you'll notice that I'm into a number of unusual hobbies. I love to crochet. I know a bit about herbology. I love black cats. I have a rainbow flag behind me. Come on. There's plenty of content here that you could use to engage me in a conversation so that you and I could go deeper to know more about each other. These are things that I can use. If I see these same things with other people, I can connect with them. If I see them pull out a ball of yarn and some kind of project, make any kind of reference to any kind of yarn work, I can have a conversation with them. I can talk to them about, what are you making? What yarn are you using? What do you love to do? How did you learn that? There's so many ways I can take that one topic and suddenly have a real conversation with that human being that I couldn't have otherwise had, that has nothing to do with my business. And these are the kind of things that help us connect and build a real relationship with that person that creates that emotional bond that is important when we are growing our businesses as well. So understand that your human side, your personal side, and your business side are all part of who you are. They are all part of your brand. When you're showing up online, showing up on social media, it's really important that you show those different aspects of you as well. So be authentic to yourself. Again, why I have a rainbow flag. I want people to understand that this is a safe space, that they know that they will be seen and heard and recognized here. That is one way that I can relate and connect with people. What is a way that you can relate and connect with people in your community so that they know that they can reach out to you in a way that is beyond just your business? That is a really powerful way that you can use social media. The other thing we forget about on social media is that we can simply stay connected and continue the conversation. We think too much again about social media as merely a platform for us to get up on our soapbox and proclaim to the world what we do and help people know more about us. And this is true again. And it is a place for us to go and connect and engage with people. So it is really important when you are trying to build those relationships that you are actively looking for opportunities to connect with them as well. Look for those people in your community on your social media platforms. Look what they're posting about. Look what their content they're sharing, and find ways to engage with it, to have a conversation, to share it, whatever it may be that makes the sense for what it is that that relationship you're trying to build with them. What is the purpose of that relationship? And how can you continue to build that relationship through engagement with them? And I do not want you to underestimate the importance and the value of conversation. All we have are these transactional conversations. You know, when people get really annoyed because somebody posted in their DMs another pitch slap or another conversation about, hey girl, would you do this thing? Will you share this post for me? Will you come join my Facebook group, when there was no previous conversation? Do you see where I'm going with this? We need to have no agenda conversations on a regular basis with people in order for them to recognize that we actually care about them as a human being, and we're not just looking at them as another number, as another name, as another person that we're going to try and sell to. If you truly are trying to connect in a people first way, it is really important that you are having conversations. There's a little phrase that I sometimes will use. It's water cooler conversations. And I use that phrase because we think about back in the day when we were all in an office, but we would gather at the water cooler, or we would gather at the coffee pot, or we would gather in the lunchroom, or whatever it be, and we would have conversations that may or may not have anything to do with work. How are the kids? How was the basketball game? Look at the weather. But those conversations were important. We have stripped out those conversations in our society in this space where all we have are transactional interactions. You have to recreate those opportunities. And again, it increases that emotional connection, and it proves that you are someone who really sees and knows who they are as an individual, and that you are trustworthy. So know, like, and trust, that is how you get there. People have to know who you are as a person and as a business, and they have to trust that you have their best interest in heart. And we can do that with social media. The other thing that social media can do for us is, if you're one of those people who doesn't have a ton of time in their day to make lots of one-to-one conversations and have lots of one-to-one Zoom calls with people, whether you either don't have the mental and emotional energy for that, or you simply just don't have the time, then having an online presence, being visible, and then having continued conversations is a really good way to maximize your personal availability and still grow those conversations and those relationships in an authentic way. And that is why this is more than a marketing strategy. That is why your social media needs to be more than just a content platform. It needs to be a place where you show up as a human being in a real authentic way. Think about the fact that every time you show up on whichever social platform you are being present on, you are showing up as you. You are showing up as the individual connecting with other individuals out there in the world. And because we can't have those conversations the way we used to, where we'd gather in big groups and we would have conversations and we would sit down and maybe share a meal together and just shoot the breeze. Now we get to do it on social media. So what does that look like? It needs to be more than transactions. It needs to be more than business. It needs to be more than just you broadcasting to the world your message. It is about you showing up as a very real human being. Help me! I'm tangled! Ah!